April 15th, 2021. All right, guys, the thought police strike yet again. I have another video deleted and a slap on the wrist. You, Dave, have violated community guidelines. What did I do? Basically just explained that emergency use authorization is not approval and that it's a shortcut around safety studies being done. Now, no, bad boy. So just strike that from the record. You can't have somebody like me discussing something like this. So, in order to get the same message across, let's just hear it directly from the authorities of our regulatory agencies. Now, just so there's crystal clear transparency here, you can see clearly that I am on the official YouTube channel of the U.S. Fraud and Death Administration. U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, their official page. And we're going to go ahead and listen to their 1 minute and 45-second propaganda piece that should be sufficient enough for the general public to do as you're told. Okay? This is what we're going to look at and see exactly what they have to say, what emergency use authorization means, and if this is good enough to mandate this product upon you. So let's take a look.
Americans rely on the FDA to evaluate whether medical products, such as drugs, diagnostic tests, and other medical devices, have been shown to be safe and effective.
Now I leave it upon you to do your due diligence and research and decide for yourself whether you should trust and rely upon these criminals.
When a public health emergency hits, like the infectious disease outbreak we're facing with COVID-19, there may be an urgent need for products to diagnose, treat, or prevent a medical threat. In certain types of emergencies, the FDA can issue an emergency use authorization, or EUA, to provide more timely access to drugs, diagnostic tests, or other critical medical products that may help during the emergency when there are no adequate, approved, and available options.
That is key to understand. They can only use emergency use authorization when there are no adequate, approved, or available options. Now, I can't tell you that any of the available options are adequate, right? It's total conspiracy theory that hydroxychloroquine could reduce infection or be an efficacious treatment, therapeutic, or ivermectin, or even going a natural route and focusing on things like vitamin C, magnesium, vitamin D, sun exposure, fresh air, nutrient-rich diet of whole foods, as well as foods rich in flavonoids and polyphenols like quercetin, resveratrol, ECGC, things like that. That's all speculative and conspiracy theory, so we can't rely on that to be an adequate thing because we have to have a reason to push through emergency use authorization. Now, again, I'm just adding some commentary to what's being stated in their official propaganda piece here.
The EUA process is different than full approval of these products because in some emergency situations, we just cannot wait for all the evidence needed for full FDA approval.
Okay, it's different, which means it's incomplete. They tell you right here, we can't wait for evidence, the needed evidence to provide FDA approval. Their words, not mine. This is not FDA approved because it lacks the necessary evidence.
Instead, the FDA evaluates the options very quickly using the evidence that is available and carefully balances any known or potential risks of these unproven products.
Known or potential. So that's known risks and unknown risks of what? This unproven product. Unproven product.
With any known or potential benefits to the public of making them available during the emergency.
weighing that unknown risk of the unproven product with the potential unknown benefit of the unknown benefit of the unproven product. Again, Instagram and potentially YouTube, their words, not mine. Don't delete me for sharing the official stance from the FDA.
For example, while we need to move quickly, it is not in the best interest of Americans for the FDA to allow use of a test that doesn't work as it should.
Oh, that's interesting, because the PCR test that they were forcing for an entire year, they ended up coming out. The CDC themselves stating that at the cycles they were running, at 40 cycles, they had 90% or more false positives. And we shouldn't be relying on tests that are unreliable.
False test results can contribute to the spread of an infectious disease like COVID-19. EUAs are just one of several tools the FDA can use to help make important medical products available quickly during emergencies.
In other words, we get to bypass the standards of testing and just push something through in the guise of an emergency.
For more information on FDA's efforts against COVID-19, please visit fda.gov.
There you have it. They literally didn't say anything different than I said in my video that got deleted. But if you need to hear it from the official FDA, there you go. So this shouldn't be deleted because this is directly from fda.gov. All right? If you delete this, it's obvious there is a hidden agenda here, because all I'm doing is sharing their own explanation about what emergency use authorization is, how it's used, and why it's used in a public health emergency. All right, guys, let's see what happens.